all night if you guys want to. But this is one of our concrete pours for our slab on the ground. We do most of our major concrete pours at night for a couple of reasons. One is because concrete doesn't really like the heat, and so when we can place that when it's a little bit cooler, it's great. Also, there's no concrete plants like really close to this job site, and so we have to avoid traffic, and so making sure those trucks can get here and get on the site on time. So you'll see a lot of our concrete pours happening early in the morning and finishing up around midday before it gets too hot. This is just some foundation stats, so you can see we're just a little bit over the halfway point for all the foundations that we have to pour on here, so we still have a lot of work there left to do. I'm sorry, there's a lot of information on this slide, but and this is another visual graphic of the foundations that are done and the foundations that have yet to do. So you can see we're just about to start on the staff parking garage. That'll actually start in about 2 weeks. Then we'll move over to the medical office building and the visitor garage. Those will kind of happen concurrently on both sites. Here's a picture from our drone flight this morning. And so that you can see the tower coming out of the ground. Again, what you're seeing there is up to the ICU unit on the far side there. That's as high as we've gotten. That's the 3rd floor. And we're going all the way up to 11 stories plus a penthouse to get up to the helipad on the roof. So we've got a lot more vertical to go. The crane on the left, though it's tilted over quite a bit, when it's standing fully straight up, it's the tallest crane in South Carolina, even bigger than the ones that Boeing is using across the street. So it is a very large crane, and we're not using it for its height, we're using it for its reach, because it has to reach over the huge interventional podium of the hospital to set all that steel.
You can see it on the highway.
It is, yeah, that's my favorite part, when I can start seeing it from 526 and 26. So again, this is another visual graphic of what's complete so far. So you can see the green is what's in place so far. So we've got what's up there, 5,000 tons of steel to install. To date, we've got about 21% of that in. That's primarily because your heaviest steel is at the bottom of the building because it has to hold up all the rest of the building there. So some huge steel that we've been bringing in from both Charlotte and from Florence, South Carolina. We're using 2 different fabrication plants to bring all the steel in for this project. And I wanted to celebrate this. This is something that happened yesterday. So the Barton Mallow Edifice team and Roper St. Francis entered into an agreement with the South Carolina Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, for their constructive cooperative partnership. We are one of only 5 projects in South Carolina that is doing that with them, which means that instead of them responding to do random inspections and to respond when something adverse has happened on the project, we are working in tandem with them. They come out for regular visits. We work together. We ask them questions, and all in an effort to make it the absolute safest project site that we can make it. That's a huge effort for both the Barton Mallow and Edifice team, and certainly for the Roper St. Francis team. In fact, we partnered with Roper. They have a on-site clinician in a trailer right on site where they will be doing kind of the minor, cuts and scrapes that kind of happen on a daily basis, and being able to triage those without them even leaving the site. I think that's it. Yeah, that's what I had for you today. And like I said, I could sit up here for another half an hour if you guys want to, but is there any other questions?
On one of the slides, the building is complete, early 28, and it's about another year and a half after that? Or
It's March 29 is our substantial completion date. That's one of the first slides.
It's like the second slide, maybe.
Yeah. Almost there. One more. Okay. Yeah. So substantial completion is March.
So really, you're going to basically see the outside.
Yeah. It'll look like a completed building for
a
year, almost 2 years before we can actually see the first patient. And that's kind of the frustrating part. You'll see all that. That glass will go up really quick, and the beautiful metal panels that are on the rest of the building, it'll go in really quick, but it takes a long time to put everything inside the walls and ceilings that you're never gonna see in order to get this ready to serve patients.
Is the model similar to the building that y'all have in Berkeley? Or is it?
Look up here, quite
a
a
lot
bit different
different.
actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so whereas the Berkeley kind of, folks have seen that campus has, let's say, a little bit more of a brown facade with the
Yeah,
stone
right.
and the brick. This is actually gonna look a little bit sleeker. It's, I don't know if you, yeah, there you go. Kind of more, so you're gonna have a lot more glass on those sides, and then those panels, there's 2 panels on the front, but you've got glass on all 4 sides more or less, so.
And if you walk to the end of the hall here and look out the window, you'll see a 2-story it's a mock-up
Oh, yeah,
of that. That is the
wondering
glass, and the color is a little different. That's a little bit creamier than they wanted it to be, so it's gonna be a little bit more grayish than creamy. But that's what the exterior building,
that's
the
what
exterior
that
of the
is.
facade will look like.
I have a question.
Yes.
As the project continues to grow, can you give me an update on the number of local workers or contractors that you're using?
Sure. So that's been a big priority of ours, and so when you're doing a project this large, it can stress the local workforce. And so what we've tried to do very strategically is balance large regional vendors and subcontractors with local firms. So we may bring in a very large mechanical firm, but then they're gonna use people like Jennings Mechanical, who's based out of, I think they're in either North Charleston or in Hanahan. And then same thing with the electrical. We've got a large Greensboro-based electrician, but then they're also partnered with a local electrician. The site work, the concrete, the demolition, the entire medical office building for that matter is all local vendors and subcontractors. As far as individual workers, so we have a partnership program that we do with all of our subcontractors, because even though these large firms are coming from Charlotte, Atlanta, even as far as Cincinnati, Ohio, they only bring their senior management here, and then everybody else is hired locally from the local pool. And we are very sensitive to that, because honestly, between the Boeing projects that are going on, some of the large developments that you see on the peninsula of Charleston, as well as now the Magnolia projects starting up in the neck, and some of the large manufacturing, even Scout Motors, is kind of draining the resources from here. And as a local builder, we're actively doing about, I think, close to 60 projects in the Tri-County area. It is something that we have to look at every day, because there is definitely, when you look at an area like this, it seems like a large area, but 60% of it's water. So we're really trying to grab people from other areas while still maintaining people here locally. And it's a very complicated answer, and I wish I could be more straightforward with that, but a lot of the people that we're hiring are locally to try to do the work when we come out here.
Yeah, we, Councilwoman, what we did is, as a matter of fact, this is 24, we got with Willie and the SBE.
Yep.
And Frank Ankrum, before this even broke ground, we still had Old City Hall, so we're deeply connected with them. As a matter of fact, I think that, a couple of the council members had asked that back in 24. And so we connected our SBE office, Frank Ankrum and Willie. And I mean, not only the construction, but even, food sources and things of that nature. So we wanted to be well-rounded. And we told everybody at Roper, and they agree with it. We want to have our SBE office at the initial stage. I'm talking about even the construction and building, how it would look, the architecture part of it. We want to be involved with all the stages of any building. Same as with
Mercedes.
yeah, Darvis work with Mercedes. We're at the beginning stages all the way through, and it's working through our SBE office to procurement.
Yeah. Willie and our team did a couple of outreach events. We rented out the banquet hall at the Marriott across the street there to build some fantastic relationships. And those were everybody from the janitorial and hauling businesses. There's a lot of opportunities on hauling. We have a lot of hauling that we have to do on this project. But also it was an opportunity for them to meet all of our major subcontractors that are doing, because I'll give you an example. Our electrical contractor, their contract with us is about $110 million. There is exactly one local contractor that is capable of doing that amount of work. So, but they're not shipping in all their people from from all over the place. So we're working with Willie and the other partners to offer those job fairs to bring those people on board with the large contractors that we're bringing in. I don't know if that helps.
Thank you.
We'll make sure, we were talking, Chris and I were talking a little while ago that, these slides may be helpful to you in being able to communicate with your constituents. So Chris will make sure, he'll get those over to me. Courtney, I'll send them over to you, and if, we can get those out to everyone, that way y'all got them so at your fingertips, so.
Would you have a problem with the city council members sharing it at the civic club meetings?
No concerns whatsoever. I mean, honestly, we welcome that, and we'll make sure that we reach out to, Corey again and make sure that we kind of get an update for, to the neighborhood presidents as well.
Mayor, also, we have on the building here where we, there's a lot of departments in the building already have access. Watching the growth, we can monitor every day as we see things going on, so we do have that capability. The cameras is on top of this building right here. They see it all.
That's right. And I want to stress one thing, if you'll permit, is that we understand as the builder, we are setting the first impression for our client, Roper St. Francis, and so we want to make sure that we are being responsive to the needs of the community. So if there's anything that we can do to help better facilitate, communicate, or just manage things on the site, we want to know about it. And we typically do that through Roper St. Francis as our central conduit through, but Darbus knows how to get a hold of us and has no qualms with reaching out to us about anything we need, and we appreciate that. Seriously.
Be very careful because Councilwoman Nephew Brown lives right down the street from you.
I know, we were talking about that.
I already called Mr. Duncan, so I'll take a picture and send him the picture.
She would, she right there.
Don't block that traffic.
I already talked about that traffic. We
She's
already
right
got, I
around
already
the
got on
corner,
him a
so she
couple
will
times.
call you, though.
You block that road again, you're in trouble.
No,
Y'all, thank you so much for the partnership.
Thanks, George.
We're looking forward to seeing things continue to come together, and we'll come back and give you another update in about 6 months or so.
okay. Can we acknowledge the event that we attended at the Greer?
Yeah, tell them about the, tell them
so-
about the.
Yeah, so we were invited as a council and city leadership to come to the Greer Center
Your transitions clinic, yep.
Transitional
Clinic.
and we did a tour of the Greer Transitional Clinic, and basically it assists with like people who don't have insurance and helping them transition their life from, maybe job issues, food disparity, and there's a food bank in there. It's a food bank, clothing. They got a social worker to assist everybody with getting employment and just assisting people to get insurance. And I think that's a good addition to District 6, but they said it's been operating almost 7 years.
I don't even
7
know.
years?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I was
believe
about to
like
say,
7
it's
years.
been there for quite some time. We actually just recently expanded that program to Berkeley County as well, so.
Okay.
And we think that it truly has a wraparound service,
Yes.
where you get mental health treatment there, OBGYN. Again, like Councilwoman said, they're able to choose foods that they want instead of just handing them a bag of food. They can actually go into the pantry and choose the type of foods that they want, and clothes and shoes. So I thought, I'm thinking that the Greer Transitional Clinic is truly a wraparound center. They have social, emotional, physiological, psychological needs. I have one complaint. There is nothing there for weight loss.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, it's in the
And I take that personal.
Not at all.
but it's in the
Call
great
out.
place.
But it's a beautiful clinic that serves the underserved community. And you walk into the clinic and you walk into a beautiful establishment for people who don't have insurance. And just because people do not have insurance should not be treated less than those who might have insurance. And you walk into a building where you have professional people, it's a clean environment, and there's professionalism there and courtesy, and where people's dignity is not being robbed. So I love Roper St. Francis and the Greer Transitional Clinic.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that it is core to who we are in our mission statement. If you go back in our history to when Colonel Thomas Roper gave a whopping $30,000, and how much is this project, Chris? 1.2 billion? 30,000 don't go as far as it used to, right? But, He gave $30,000 to the Medical Society of South Carolina, and it was contingent upon building a hospital that treated all people, regardless of affliction, creed, nationality, whatever, right? And even today, our mission statement is healing all people with compassion, faith, and excellence. So it goes back to our core, what we've done for almost 200 years and what we'll continue to do.
It's on the wall, I saw it on the wall.
Yes.
Wall.
Yes, yes.
And you know what's special about Requiem St. Francis, and I'll get off my soapbox and we'll get out of y'all's hair. That's not a bald joke. But if you walk through the halls of any of our facilities and you ask our teammates what the mission statement is, so often it's just something that hangs on a wall. But I promise you 9 out of 10 of our teammates will tell you what our mission statement is. So,
Sure, yeah, hey,
thanks so much for having us, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, the one thing that I asked the city council in New York, y'all been doing it, when you guys get to your civic club meetings, or even talk to your captains and presidents, I know you do it. The reason why I'm asking you all this is that when we did the transportation sales tax, when myself and the other mayors got together with the county, we realized that they did a survey. The survey that we got back was less for City of North Charleston than it was for even Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant had over 37% people actually chiming in and talking about the TST. That goes a long way when we start to divvy up the money. Because the folks who, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? And that's what's going on. So what I'm asking you all to do, and I know you did because Greg did it the other night, is talk about the transportation sales tax and the support that we need as a city. $4.2 billion is going to be divided, and we need to get every bit that we can of that money. But they have to go out and vote for it.
Mira, do you have, and I've seen it at the county level, but do you have the submission of what we submitted that we would use those funds for?
It's the same thing you saw in the county. If you see the Charleston County, he's going to, it's like us. We'll put in submissions, right? Our submissions, and we've been telling you a long time, is we've got to get the low country rapid transit system. We've got to get the ramp overpass. We also we need to get bike paths over the North Bridge, right? We're working it for the sound barrier and sound walls, working at that as well. And anything else on this? More drive overpass for a roper. We don't have to get people off that.
We can send the council just to kind of update us, maybe, because I don't have that. I had to get it. I just spoke about it when we were looking, I was at the COG, we were doing the, what committee was that again? The Carter Board. We were talking about the LCRT and stuff, and someone just happened to have the submission. I think it was another county councilman that was there, was talking to him, but I don't have that personally. Can we get that?
Yeah, we'll get that to you. I thought you did.
Yeah,
but-
just a
Yeah,
breakdown
it's the
of.
same thing the county has, that's the same thing that we have. They'll give North Charleston, they'll give Charleston City, and they'll give Mount Pleasant as well. But anytime you see a North Charleston one, but we'll get it to you, that's the North Charleston graph that kind of explains what we were asking for.
Perfect, yeah, cause if I have that, I can articulate this type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that's why I'm
That's
asking
the
you all,
whole
we've
point,
got to
right?
get them to go out and vote. Now, I'll say this, not everybody's gonna get something. Here, I'm gonna say it again, not everybody in these 10 districts are gonna get something out of it. But don't hate on the ones who are getting, because it's going to help everybody in the city. So for instance, Councilwoman Ganaway Paisley, we're trying to get the sound barrier and sound walls. Rhonda was asking for that many years, way before I was assistant chief, probably, or deputy chief. So the need right now, as you look at it, because all the trees and everything was definitely exposed because of the weather situation, and it's really pulled away from that. So her area is a whole lot more wide open now. But what we're looking at is to try to strategically get sound barriers and sound walls all up and down, especially I-26 corridor, to cover as many communities as we can if it's possible. So when I say that, it may be an area that you may think should have been on the list, but your area might not be on the list, or Brandon area may not be on the list. But it's not that we're taking away from you, is that there's only a certain amount of money that we have. So Mayor Coswell's got his, Mayor Haney has his, and then we have ours, and we have to kind of split that money and divvy it up. So we looked at what was kind of the best thing to do, like it's called a smart intersection cycle. What it does is, a lot of money's going into that. Why? To push the traffic on Rivers Avenue corridor, as quick as we can to get cars off the roadway and then get cars either in shopping districts or the living spaces. So that is a need. So it's going to be a need and a want thing. So if you don't see anything in District 7 where Michael Brown is at, he may not have anything on that list, but the overall impact is going to improve the conditions and the quality of traffic and other things in the city. So you may not see that. You may not, in your area, you're probably looking at the widening of the road on Dorchester Road, and you may have some in your area and some not in your area. But it's gonna work for us, and that's the thing. So I just want you to know that you may not see, Kenny may not, because Kenny's in Dorchester County. So Dorchester County has to deal with its own TST. And
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a connectivity issue,
connectivity,
right? So if, like, take Dorchester Road, for example. If Dorchester County's got funding to widen it, if this potentially fails, then you're gonna have a bottleneck because the part of Dorchester Road in Charleston County is not gonna be widened, but Dorchester will, and depending on which way you're going, you're gonna have a mess. So I've even encouraged my constituents, to tell their friends that live in Charleston County that this really does need to be approved because of the connectivity issue, which is gonna affect us all. Might not be in your district, but I can promise you if it doesn't pass, it's gonna affect everybody in this room negatively,
Yeah.
so.
it will. And I know that,
That's all I have to say
when I'm
about
talking about the sound barriers and sound walls,
Or taxes.
the thing about that is that it's a quality of life issue, but also too, that the state, and we've talked to Powell and a lot of folks up there, they cannot deny that it hasn't been done. Those sound barriers and sound walls are around the state. And because they are, we deserve the same thing. And that's pushing that agenda is something that you need to push your constituents, your citizens. Say, listen, we may not get anything here in District 7, but still yet, it's very important for the traffic. And you do have some because the LCTR is gonna come down, 78 corridor coming on through. So you will be impacted by that too. So some will, some won't. But it's for the greater good of not only North Charleston, but the region. If City of Charleston does not get the things they need, Mount Pleasant don't get the things they need, we will suffer. We will suffer. So we have to, we join at the hips and really look out for the best interest of all us that's in this region. And last thing, Charleston County Council, they basically regulate this, but we give them our top. We give them like top 1, top 2, top 3, and then because they are county councilmen too, they have constituents and they have needs as well. So sometimes we have to negotiate. There's a lot of greenbelt funding out there. Some people don't. They feel like we should get more money, put less money in the greenbelt or more money in the greenbelt. I didn't get into that. My whole thing is what's best for the city of North Charleston. So just want y'all, please let your folks know that. Get out and vote. I mean, from this day until November the 7th, get out, keep it in their mind so they can get this thing done. All right. Any other business to come before the committee of the whole? None? It's adjourned.
All right, we'll call the Finance Committee meeting for June 18th, 2026 to order. The first item is the minutes from the April 17th, 2026 special finance meeting.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 2, a resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept the Spark Good local grant in the amount of $500 from Walmart facility number 1359.
To approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 3, a resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept the Spark Good local grant in the amount of $500 from Walmart facility 3367.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 4, resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept the South Carolina Firefighters Foundation Burn Children's Fund Grant.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I guess we didn't wanna discuss it, so we're okay. Item number 5, a resolution accepting a subdivision bond to ensure the construction of a private road known as Lemon Lime Avenue in the Ronda's Way subdivision.
Ooh.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute agreements for indefinite delivery and indefinite quantity architectural services.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 7, request to approve engineering services for Weber Boulevard widening. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You know, you probably really shouldn't eat a mint right before the. Item number 8, bid award for the City of North Charleston Coliseum Performing Arts and Convention Center resurfacing and site improvements to the low bidder Banks Construction Company Incorporated, Charleston, South Carolina, in the amount of $3,548,992.44.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 9, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary and appropriate to enter into a second amendment to purchase and sale agreement with Navy Yard Master JV LP, a Delaware limited partnership, as amended to extend the closing date.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 10, a resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept the SFY 2627 South Carolina Department of Public Safety School Resource Officer Grant.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 11, ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to transfer portions of Charleston County TMS 471-06-00163 to the South Carolina Department of Transportation for $4,675. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 12, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to consent to the inclusion of designated City of North Charleston parcel, the project Rivers Landing, located at 2151 Morris Baker Boulevard, TMS 47807000013, within the Charleston and Colleton Counties Joint County Business Park to allow incentives for attainable housing.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion, second, any discussion? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I looked at, what district is this?
Mine.
Okay.
What's that? Morris Baker's off of,
It's right there by King's Chicken,
okay. Yes, we targets.
where
What the
Atlantic
space in
Boulevard
there?
apartments are.
Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Are there any other items to come before the finance committee?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
if I may, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
so it was brought to my attention that when our employees get their professional certifications, we used to give them $5,000 and now it's been cut down to $2,500. When and why?
Okay, I spoke with Rob Finance. Is Rob here? I spoke with him. Of course, you know, I got a little longevity myself. From the PD side, we only gave a certain percentage for degrees.
Okay.
And it was a certain percentage. It wasn't 2,500. But Rob stated to me, really, Rob, can you stand up? He can explain to you what was the standard. I mean, somewhat standard.
So standard,
Yeah.
I think is the question. As far as I've been here, it's been very, maybe police and fire may have had some structures of their own, but as far as I've been here, there's never been any formal policy citywide that I'm aware of. If it was a long time ago. But I'm not aware of any just formal city policy of just an automatic $5,000 of anything So if you got more details on it, we can maybe go back and look at it. And so what I can say since then is, fire, we did put in a very structured, when we redid their system a couple of years ago and went to the CEL program, theirs is very structured now. I think Mayor Burgess can talk a whole lot more about the police department, the history there. As far as the other departments, there's no standard that I'm aware of. I can say that under the new administration, we have been working to at least make sure that we honor the stuff more, put better effort into it. It can get complicated, you know, it's not necessarily just an easy, you do this, you get that, because then you can easily get people out of their market range, you know, so there's that philosophy of, okay, do we just do the same thing for everybody, or do we really focus on what the market value is? You know, but what I can do is to say is there has been more focus on making sure that if there's certifications, that we try to get them something. The current standard, I would say probably is 2,500 as far as for certifications.
Do you not think that will cause us to lose people? Because if they're gonna take the time to get their professional certification, they're gonna be highly qualified for positions elsewhere.
So I am a firm believer in paying for people, especially when they get these things. But that's where it kind of goes, in my opinion, this is just my opinion.
I understand.
I don't think there's an easy answer, because certain certifications are more valuable than others. And again, this is just my opinion. So for instance, you know, if you have someone and you're paying them market value already for certification, you pay them a little bit more, as long as they're paying what the market value is in that certification. You don't want to be underpaying them, because we don't want to be that in the city. And we don't want to be paying them 20 grand over what their worth is with that certification. But we do want to look at that certification and say, okay, based on the certification, you know, are you there? And the example, I'll use an example in my office. If I get an accountant, you know, entry level accountant positions right around 60,000. I get one that goes from maybe having an associate's to a bachelor's, that may make them a little bit more marketable and a little bit more valuable. You know, but if I get an accountant that goes from a bachelor's to a CPA, and I give them, you know, and they're making 60 with a bachelor's or 65 with a bachelor's, and I take them up to 70, they're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, but if they go from an associate's to a bachelor's, I could probably still pay them 70, because that's what the market is. So there's no real easy answer to it, you know, and it's something that maybe we could look at as a city. We haven't done a compensation study in a long, long time. I know that comes up every now and then. But yes, you gotta look at it, because yes, if you start getting these employees that are going out there and they're putting in all this time after work and at night, paying all this money to get their education, you gotta at least make sure we're paying on market value. Kind of a long answer.
And that's one I want to explain it to you, because I appreciate you bringing it up. You were here when we had merit increases. That
Absolutely.
meant that Nefertiti and you were out here working hard every day. And I came to work, and all I did was just show up, answer whatever call I wanted to,
Do nothing.
hung out at the McDonald's, did nothing. At the end of the year, I came in '89, we got the same raise.
That's right.
And then if I was here longer than Nefertiti and y'all humping hard, y'all working out there harder than me, I made more money than you,
That's right.
because we got a merit increase. We brought the Archer program in '02, when you guys approved it, and then it actually looked at the individual, and it broke down, job output, initiative, leadership, and all these things, and then you had to, evaluate somebody, and it was the individual evaluation. Then that's when everybody started to kind of get different raises, because you were actually looking at the work output. And that's when Rob was stating that to me earlier, I said, you're right. The only thing about, if you, for instance, in the police department, we had a guy that had two masters. But was the master relevant to what he was doing in law enforcement?
Exactly.
One was, other one wasn't. But he was trying to make himself marketable to make more money. He actually went down to the city of Charleston, who paid you for education, and he went to Mount Pleasant, who pays for education. Both of them said, we're gonna pay you, and that's what I did as a chief. When you came in there with associate, bachelor's, or master's, and you had 2 or 3 of them, I will pay you for that one of the highest, whatever you choose. And I wanna pay you for the one that's relevant for the position that you're interviewing for. So we did that because if we continue to pay for all these degrees, it will actually create a compression. It would actually take you, there'll be no reason to have a hierarchy. You know, you have a sergeant, lieutenant, with all that stuff be done. You're working for a lieutenant, and you're making $20,000 more than a lieutenant. So that's why I think, like Rob said, and I'll bring this before council, is that we need to do another
We do.
study.
It's long past due.
We have to do that, because if we did that, like what Rob said, some of these people we're getting, they are very valuable. In the PD, we all, myself, Dave Cheeto, Butch Barfield, we all went to command schools. All did. Prior to 2001, we didn't, all the mayors and all the, before that, we didn't, hey, whatever they gave us, they gave us. Zumar came here and Zumar said, I need to make this department professional. And when he did that, he talked to Mayor Summey. Mayor Summey said, okay, whoever comes in here after 2001, if they have a associate's, bachelor's, or master's, or whatever, we will compensate them for that.
Right.
But what happened is, the people that were here with degrees, 2001 all the way back to 89,
We're not
they were
compensated.
never given a compensation. They came in the door with a degree.
Sure.
So that caused a compression. So there's a lot of factors, God bless you, a lot of factors that play into it. And I think the next study, it'll never be perfect, but I think we need to do another one, because this city has grown tremendously
Yeah.
from '02.
And we need to take care of our employees.
We've got to.
And Mr. Mayor, that's one of the questions we'll ask during our budget meeting about the comparable study, to make sure that our employees are being paid
Yes, ma'am.
comparable to the other counties and to their position that they're actually holding.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I believe, I don't know, I guess, I'm a little kinda stuck on it. I believe that we are, on the collective, but we've got to clean it up a whole lot more. We've got to clean up a whole lot more, because time is going. I was at the airport terminal today, I'm on the board, and you see all the stuff at the airport, that people are coming in here. I mean, everywhere you look, people coming to North Charleston, so that makes North Charleston more marketable for all the folks that's coming here, but then we have to take care of the men and women who are here now. In this building and outside these other places, we've got to compensate them rightly. So I think that we can sit down and I'll create a subcommittee if you want to, and we'll study about, bringing some folks in here and telling us what they can do. And when you guys make the decision, bring it to council and the mayor, and then we'll go from there. Is that cool?
Yes, okay.
Okay, all right.
Anything else for the finance committee? Hearing nothing, this meeting is adjourned.
Okay,
Last year,
okay, one more. All right, we got a special city council meeting here. Wow. Okay.
I'm requesting to defer the minutes from the June 11, 2026 meeting.
Okay.
Move to approve.
second.
All right. Any
I have to call the roll.
You gotta call the roll, go ahead. Call the roll.
Mr. Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Rowe.
Oh,
Dr. Gannery Paisley.
Aye.
Mr. MD.
Aye.
Miss Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Brown. Mr. Hudson.
Aye.
Mr. Skipper.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Burgess.
Aye.
We have the first reading of an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to transfer portions of Charleston County TMS number 47106, parcel 163, to the South Carolina Department of Transportation for $4,675 in Council District 8.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Perry.
Call the roll.
Mr. Rowe. Aye. Dr. Ganaway Paisley.
Aye.
Mr. MD.
Aye.
Miss Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Brown. Mr. Hudson.
Aye.
Mr. Skipper.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Burgess.
Aye. Okay. Before we leave, November the third, that's the day to vote. That's what Councilman Brown told me. I'm thinking the 7th. So that's for the transportation sales. Right. So that's the date, right?
November 3rd.
3rd, yeah. So make sure you talk to your constituents that we need to vote for this TST. And another thing too, happy Father's Day, even to the ladies who are fathers. Happy Father's Day. Other than that, anything else to come before the, go ahead.
Well, I missed last council meeting, that's because I went to a training in Texas for small businesses, small business conference, and I think you guys hear me typically just, I work in economic and community development. I'm gonna always say something, or if you did anything about small businesses, I'm gonna say something. Super passionate about that. So I think this is such a diverse group of individuals with different skills, and I appreciate what you bring to this council. So just wanted to mention that to you guys. I didn't text you directly to apologize for not letting you know directly that I was gonna be here, and that's it.
Brandon, Councilman Brandon Hudson, thank you, awesome job on yesterday. We actually were working with, Horizon Village. Every community in our city should have a civic club meeting. Everyone. And we sat down, we met with, folks, the elderly seniors off Rivers Avenue, and we met with the seniors on Spruce. And they brought together a meeting. How many people had in the meeting?
Oh, 30 people?
Yeah,
It was packed.
it was packed. And Brandon, he did his thing and got to the point where, I mean, they was asking him the questions that they thought that he didn't know. And he yeah, because it was like, okay, can you tell Carter this, can you tell Carter that? And Brandon said, I'm on the board. And it was really refreshing because they said, oh, he's on the board, so we'll tell him everything. But I appreciated, Brandon, that you came out there. I appreciate how you treated the citizens and how you answered those questions in real time. And how you did it was, I mean, that's how you do it. There wasn't any question that was brought to you that you didn't have a response on.
I think the only question that wasn't answered is how do I silence my cell phone?
That's true.
It was like an hour of
Yeah,
just phones
yeah.
going off.
It was like,
I couldn't believe it.
One lady said, oh, you silence your telephone, and they laid it down, and her telephone
Her
started ringing.
telephone-
I was like, so we had a good time, but to get those seniors involved and engaged in their community through our elected officials, that was a blessing. I wanna thank you so much.
Also, were the units reopened that were
That we talked about?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
matter of fact, I'll start sending you guys, every time housing sends something to us that they get ready to open one, I'll let you all know, cause I've only been to one.
I saw the pictures.
And yeah, she was there, and what they're doing is they're trying to build them up, work on them. And the problem is, and the PD's kind of saw that, every time they go into a house that needs to work on it, every room that they repair, somebody comes in the back door and sleeps on it and hangs out, and then they have to run them, and then they go upstairs. So they're trying to do it real quick to get the turn around, to get the citizens in there. So the PD's going to actually keep an eye on those places, because they're telling them exactly which one they're working on.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good, it's really good. Nothing else to come before the body? Meeting is adjourned.
We got you on here for 7.
I